Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on transitioning from worker to small business owner. I'm Bob Hogan, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County. I'm going to be your host today, and our presenter is Ivonne Zucco. More on Ivonne in just a minute, but just some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit national partner of the SBA, and we offer three primary value-added services to small business owners. First of all, we offer one-to-one counseling, and you can access that counseling in any way that works best for you. You can do it in person, you can do it by Zoom, you could do it by telephone or email. Secondly, we offer a wide range of business education programs like the one today, and we offer them both on webinar format and in-person workshops in some of the local libraries. Lastly, we offer extensive resources on our website, including access to subject matter experts and business tools and information. Our next live webinar will be next Tuesday, January 23rd at noon, and the topic is Running Your Business with Financial Statements with John Harmon presenting. Look for more specifics on fairfieldcounty.score.org. We also have a large number of recorded webinars on our website that cover a wide range of business topics, and you can view those at any time just by clicking on on-demand webinars. Just some logistics about today's event. We have set aside time for some Q&A at the end of the presentation. And so if you have a question, please use the Q&A button, which is located at the bottom of your screen. And you can just type in that question at any time, and we'll take as many as we can up until the top of the hour. Our webinar will end sharply at 1 o'clock to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org, within the next day or so. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Ivonne Zucco. Yvonne's mission is to support individuals and companies in their development efforts and help unlock the potential that everyone has within. As a people and culture consultant, Ivonne works with individuals searching for fulfillment and balance in their careers and with companies working towards intentional culture change. She uses a pragmatic approach to help them advance from where they are to where they want to be with clarity and purpose. I'll now turn it over to Yvonne. Yvonne, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to present on this very topic that is, what you should need to know when you transition from worker to a small business owner. So I really like to start my presentations with a point that I like to make, and this quote reflects it so well. It was written by Edna Vincent Millay, a writer and screenplayer, and she said, in a letter that she wrote during college, please give me some good advice. In your next letter, I promise not to follow it. And the reason why I like to start with this is because I recognize that people usually do not follow advice, or they hardly follow advice. And this is natural. And it is because the truth is that individuals need to experiment their own way. They need to follow their own process. So when I speak with people, I usually do not give them advice. What I do is to work with what fits them best, as opposed to telling them what to do. I'm not saying do not follow advice. What I'm saying, and definitely follow it if you have people in your lives that have a lot more experience in your area than you do. But what I'm saying is listen to this presentation as a way to think about some things that you should be, having reflections on. So, of course, if you have the desire to start your own business, you will make it happen for yourself. And these things are just ideas of things that you should be taking into consideration. So we'll get started with that. So first of all, what are we covering today? The first thing we're going to do is to talk a little bit about the qualities of somebody that starts their own business. Then we'll move into the desire and the reality of owning your own business. What people think owning your own business looks like, and what the reality of owning your own business looks like. Then we will talk about how to set yourself for success. What kind of things you can do to make sure that when you start your own business, you are set up for success. And basically, this presentation is not going to talk about financial statements or marketing or anything like that. It has to do more with the mindset of what being a business owner is. Then we'll talk a little bit about hiring people and becoming a manager. How can you get started at that point? And then I will share with you a few SCORE resources that I think are very useful for people to get started. I do realize that many of you may have started your process with SCORE already, but there's always very good resources out there that you could look into. They have infinite kind of resources. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur. There is not one type of personality that fits being an entrepreneur more than others. In reality, many people are very different, and everyone could be an entrepreneur if they set their mind to. There are some qualities, though, that have been observed over the years in people that establish successful businesses. So we'll go through those. The first one, and the most important one, not only to be an entrepreneur, but for everything in life, is self-awareness. What does self-awareness mean? It's that you know yourself well. And not only you know your weaknesses or the things that you need to work on, you also know your strengths. If you know your strengths, they look like the things that come very, very easy to you, the things that you do well, and those are the things that you need to capitalize on. Because a task happens for you very easily, it means that it's easy for everybody else. So in your case, what I'm saying is that we need to look at what we do really well and capitalize on that, work on that, and continue to be self-aware and learn about yourself. I just see that someone raised their hand. We will be taking the questions at the end of the webinar. The other piece that is very important as an entrepreneur is to have ability to receive feedback and learn from your setbacks. So I want to emphasize this point because sometimes when we think we know something real well, it's really difficult for us to take advice or to ask other people for opinions, what they think. Many times we are afraid of encountering an opinion that may not really be in alignment with what we want to accomplish. Yet at the same time, getting feedback from people is one of the best tools that you can get. For example, when we do these kind of presentations, we do ask for your opinion. We want to know how it went because that's the way we learn how we can do it better. Things that may happen during the initial phases of your business is that you may have setbacks. Things that happen that are not necessarily in alignment with what you set yourself to do. And so learning from the setbacks, from the mistakes, is a very good tool and something that business owners that are successful usually exhibit in their qualities. Another quality, or many qualities that I put all together in this one sentence, is to be creative. A business owner tends to be creative. They need to be curious. They have to have an experimental mindset and have a lot of innovative thinking. Why? Because usually when you start with an idea of something that you want to accomplish, that idea may change over time. If you are self-aware and you are good at learning about yourself and what are the things that you do really well, if you're good at receiving feedback and you have an ability to make changes, then creativity, curiosity, being experimental, and being innovative is the best tool that you can have. Also, as a business owner, you have to have a high threshold for risk tolerance. And also, you have to be decisive. If you're a person that has difficulty making decisions, this is something that you may want to work on before you start your company, your own company, right? Figuring out what is it that holds you back from making decisions. And if you have difficulty taking risks as well, this is something that you may want to look into and, dig deep and see what are the reasons why. I'm not saying that because right now you don't have a lot of tolerance, you are not fit to have your own business. What I'm saying is that these things are definitely good to take a look into. And also, you have to have persistence and long-term perspective. So when you are a business owner, especially if you are on your own, if you have started as a solopreneur, or if you're growing your business, having persistence and resilience is kind of like a very, very important point. And look at the big picture. Where is it that you're going? Where do you want to get? And how, being resilient is going to help you to get there. Last but not least, you gotta be adaptable. As a business owner, being, looking at all the points that we just saw in the PowerPoint, when you are faced with a different kind of opportunity, when something else comes up, when things didn't work out as well as you thought they were going to work out, having the ability to change and adapt will ensure that you can keep going, not lose faith, and you won't get stressed, and you will keep working at what you have. So let's go over a little bit the reasons why people choose to open their own businesses. They want to be their own boss. So it's not unusual that people do make this decision and this choice because they feel that they can be in charge themselves. They dislike the limitations of their current job environment. Sometimes people feel limited. If they create something themselves, they feel that they can have more freedom to do the things that they want. Another reason, they have passion and they would like to follow that passion. They have something they really, really love and they would like to follow it. They have acquired expertise over the years. That is the case for many entrepreneurs who learn how to do something really, really well, and they feel that now they can get started and do it on their own. They want more flexibility in their schedule. They have lots of ideas. Or they are trying to provide a service or product that fulfills a specific need in the market. So we are going to go over every single one of these, and we're gonna kind of like take a look at what is the reality. So let's say if your desire is that you want to be your own boss, the reality is that running your own business demands significant self-discipline. Especially as a solopreneur, you will have nothing to rely on and your clients will become your bosses. So when you are thinking about, oh, wow, I really do not want to have a boss, I want to lead the way, think about what the consequences are of having your own business and, right, what it means to be on your own sometimes or to have a small team that you need to direct, and how every single client that you have will have different desires and needs, and they will become the people that you're serving many times, not necessarily giving you a feedback that you may want. The next desire is that you have passion, a passion that you would like to follow. I just want to remind you that a passion without a profit is a hobby. So many people start their own businesses as something that they really, really love to do. If you are not able to turn a profit out of this passion that you have, it's really something that you are doing because you like it, but not necessarily a business. You also dislike the limitations of your current job. So as a business owner, you will be faced with the limitations of the business environment. So in life, there will always be limitations regarding what you can do, but if you go on your own for your business, then it's the whole environment that will be limiting you. You also have acquired expertise over the years. And as a business owner, you have to become an expert in many areas quickly. Let's say, for example, you are someone that is a very good cook or a chef, and you want to start your own restaurant. Having the ability to make delicious meals and serving people is one piece of the puzzle. You also have to become very good at sales and customer service. You have to be good at marketing, do quite a bit of administration, bookkeeping, and accounting. You will have to learn how to work, be your own human resources person until you can hire that kind of services. You will have to know about IT, etc. It is infinite. So yes, we will talk about how to set up yourself for success. But in the meantime, know that that expertise that you have acquired over the years will become very useful at doing what you know best. Yet, owning a business requires that you know many, many other things. The next one is that you want more flexibility in your schedule. As a small business owner, it is known by many people that already own their business that you work way more than 40 hours a week. Most entrepreneurs work to 40 to 60 hours a week, including nights and weekends. Your business becomes kind of your life, and separating business and the rest of your life becomes very difficult. We will be having another webinar focused on this part and how to kind of establish boundaries for yourself. But just know that the flexibility in the schedule doesn't mean less hours. It only means that you will be able to figure out what this schedule looks like for you. Another one, you have lots of ideas. In fact, too many ideas are damaging to effective, profitable businesses. So one of the things that you have to realize is when you start your own business, there are a lot of those good ideas you're going to have to put on the side for a little bit until you find your niche. The other one is that you're trying to provide a service or product that fulfills a specific need in the market. So the reality is that a very small number of business owners do a comprehensive market research. In order to succeed with your competition, you need to find your own unique business proposition. There are many webinars out there and trainings that talk about what is a unique business proposition and how do you market that. But as of now, just think about the fact that if you have a service or a product, the market research piece is a very important one because you will have to be unique to be able to compete with your competitors. A few more things about owning your own business. And, I know that this part looks like a little bit like a downer. Don't worry about it. I have tips on how to improve these things, how to work through them. But few other things that you may know. First of all, sustaining yourself from your business earning in the initial 2 years is very unlikely. New business typically don't start turning profit until 6 to 18 months into operations. I'm not saying that the business is not able to sustain itself. It probably is. What I'm saying is that it takes a long time before you start seeing profit out of your business. Another fact is that securing supporters for your idea can be challenging, specifically if you're surrounded by people that have difficulty taking risks. So I'm sure that many of you have experience talking about the business idea that you have, and many people ask you, for example, why don't you keep your job? Why don't you continue working until you have enough funds? Do you think this idea is really worth it for you to lose your job and jump? Why are you changing at this time in your life? Why do you want to do something different? You have a secure job. What is it that the people trying to hold you from making that decision? So if your idea is good, the most important thing is that you are able to get people to engage with you. But securing supporters may be a little bit hard in the beginning. The other reality about owning your own business is that you need to dedicate a lot of time to things that will not produce immediate results. For example, you will need to set up your administration. How are you going to administer your business? How are you going to manage your accounting? How are you going to manage your marketing? Now that social media is so relevant in the world that we live in, how are you going to set up your social media? Are you going to be making videos? Are you going to be writing advice? Are you going to do a blog? Are you going to do a podcast? All these kind of things and ideas that you may have will take a lot of time, and they will not lead immediate results. You will have to be very patient. Another reality is that no one will pay for your taxes, your vacation, or your sick time. So that's something to take into consideration. When you have an employment, right, you are pretty much ensure these kind of things. You get paid part of your taxes go directly from your paycheck. And if you're sick, right, or you need to take time off, that is considered within your contract. This is not something that happens when you are your own boss. And here is a little bit of a statistics. There is certain rate of business failure during the first years. About 20% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. It's not too much. About 45 during the first 5 years, and 65 during the percent during the first 10 years. So that's something to take into consideration as well. We will be talking about that in a minute. So here's the part that is more exciting and it's not such a downer. And it's kind of like a little bit of advice of how to set yourself for success. And these are the kind of things that you want to think about before you open your business and transition from worker into a business owner. First of all, and I cannot repeat this enough, do your research. Do your research. Also known as a business plan. I know many people are not planners, and it's hard to put together in a paper what you want to do as a business owner. It's hard to picture. It's hard to put financials together. It's hard to do projections. But really, business plan is considered not only a tool that you will be using to ask for help or to show people or to present your idea to people, it's also a roadmap for you to follow when you are running your own business. So think about it as your idea put in paper that will help you guide you and will help manage how you manage your time as well. If you ever journal or you have done any writing, for example, for your personal development, you know that you can go back to those notes and say, okay, these are the things that I have improved. These are the things that I have to modify. Business plan is pretty much that kind of document, right? It's a document that says, this is what I set myself to do in the beginning. These are the things that I have adjusted, and these are the things that I think I should continue doing, and the things that I should stop doing. Another tip for set yourself for success. Unless you have the funding to start your own business, start your business with a backup plan and some income on the side. Many people, I had the experience. I have started 2 businesses in my life. One was many years ago, and now the current business that I run. And when I started my own business, I really wanted to do my own thing. And the advice I got for people is for part-time. And, keep the job you have and do a little bit here so you can secure your income until your business runs completely on its own. And I really like the advice because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Yet, following that advice was big help because it took me a while to get my business running and making it self-sustainable. Another super important piece is be open to feedback and set your ego aside. As a mindset, I always think that if you are trying to prove something to somebody, you may want to analyze and take a look at yourself and see what are the motivations for that. Because when we are running our own business, it can seem like a very, very lonely place. But if you're open to feedback and what people want to tell you, you will be able to adapt quickly and learn and continue growing from that base. So being open to feedback is really more than just being able to listen to opinions that people may have of your business. It really has to do more with being able to learn and adapt quickly. This is very important. A solopreneur doesn't mean that you have to be alone. You can find cheerleaders and mentors, and that's a very important piece that SCORE covers really well in our community. By finding mentors and people that have the experience and have gone through the things that you are learning just now, you will be able to make decisions that are based on knowledge and based on what it means to really know what is the next step. It is also very important to find a network of people that you can bounce ideas by. I think looking at different points of view and being able to ask or hear challenging questions is one of the best tools that we have to learn as a business owner. So finding a network doesn't mean, people that you know and friends and family. It's also about talking to other people that have the same type of business that you do, in a way that you can bounce ideas by each other and use the experience that others have to the benefit of your business and their business as well. Finding a network is a little bit of a give and take kind of thing. You are able to give what you know to others, and you are able to receive the knowledge of others, and together really put a strategy and thinking in order to advance together. I have a network of people that I work with that do exactly the same kind of work I do. It's not necessarily the niche I have, but by sharing experiences with them and talking about what the challenges are and what the winnings are, I am able to find more stability within myself, because sometimes it can be a little bit challenging not to be able to talk to others about what's going on. And run your tests in your market. If you have an idea, make sure that you ask people. If you are producing a product, have people test it. If you have an idea of being somebody that provides counseling or provides services, see what services are fitting the area that you are working on and how you want to make it happen. Another one is to adapt quickly. Many times you will find new opportunities within the work that you're doing, and you want to take a look at those. When new opportunities come up, maybe having this adaptability and taking a look and experimenting a little bit is one of your best tools. The next one, advice for setting yourself for success, is keep a good eye on your expenses. As soon as you become a business owner, you are going to have a lot of people approaching you to offer you their services, but you don't necessarily can afford all of them. So it is very important. You are going to need software to make your business work. You are going to need an account to run, meetings. You are going to need an account to do your bookkeeping or to establish your systems. You have to be very careful what you pick and choose, because expenses can run really, really, really fast. But on the other hand, as soon as you are able to afford it, if you are able to delegate the work that you are not an expert in, you will be in a really, really good place. Why? Like I said before, when you are an expert at something, you want to invest your time on what you do best, because it's easier for you, because you can capitalize on it, because not everybody has necessarily the abilities that you have. So when we, start delegating and looking for extra help, we want to make sure that the help is being hired for the things that we are not so strong at, so that we can invest our time in what we do best. Count your time as if it were money. This is very important. Okay, so you have your business, you have the freedom to really do what you want with your time in a way that you feel fits best. So your friend asks you to use your truck for your business to do them a favor and help them move. Great, you want to be a good friend. But while you are helping this friend, or while you're doing something for somebody, which I'm not saying you don't, you just need to pick the right timing for it, you are losing time that is precious for building your business. So one exercise that I do all the time is, if I do this task, if I invest my time in doing this task, how much does it cost me, right, from the time I'm charging to do it? Is it better delegated to someone else? Is it better that I choose a different time to get it done? Is it better that, I just skip it altogether? For example, I do volunteer a lot in the community because I believe in the power of community building. Yet at the same time, I only have a certain number of hours dedicated to doing this volunteering because I know, right, that the same time could be invested into making my business grow. Another important point, at some point, your capacity is going to reach top. So one of the things that you can do when you set up your business is to create a system. What does a system look like? A system is a set of rules or set of things that you do one after the other in an orderly way, just to figure out, right, what is it that you can get done faster, right, in a way that is almost automatically given, so that you can increase capacity for yourself on doing the work. So there is a lot of AI apps that can help you, an automatic assistant, set up automatic emails, set up a time where you respond to people, create a system that works for you so that you can really invest time on what you do best, while some of the things are running smoothly because you have created a way that things are working for you. Last but not least, gain proficiency in skills that you currently lack. So as a business owner, you will never be able to let go of everything that you have to do. You will become, and we will talk about that when we talk about the mindset shift. You will become the person that needs to do a little bit of everything. And at some point, you will delegate some of those things, but you will always have to keep an eye on all these aspects of your business. So knowing how these things work and getting the skills, even if they're very basic, to understand marketing or understand IT or understand some of the accounting principles that you need to follow, or some of the things that you need to follow as a boss on the HR perspective, is key for you to continue advancing as and making your business grow. So let's talk a little bit about the paradigm shift, and I'm just going to check in my time, make sure I'm not running late, because we have to have time for Q&A. So when you think about paradigm shift, it's basically changing the way you think. When you become a business owner, one of the things is that you have to transform the ideas that you have into a fully functioning business. So it's not only about having an idea, not only having a desire or having a passion that you want to follow. It's also about making sure that your business will work and will become sustainable over time. So if you are used to being a doer, someone that does things, this is the time in which you will become a strategy and also a leader. So another important mindset shift is that instead of being held back by your weaknesses, you will need to form well-rounded teams that will complement your strengths. What do I mean by that? Not everybody knows how to do everything. None of us are perfect. We all have things that we could learn, we could do better, or things that keep us back a little bit, fears or lack of skills or something that is going on. What you need to do is not to be good at everything, is to eventually form a team that can complement those strengths that you have with their strengths. So in conclusion, starting a business is easy. What is hard is to build a business that is sustainable. So one of the things that is I want you to always keep an eye on is that sometimes your best opportunities will come way after you have started this business idea. I will tell you, for example, personally, I did change my brand. I decided that, because I'm a professional coach, I was leading with my coaching, but then I realized there was a niche on team building and team development that I could fulfill in the market that we are right now. So I switched strategies and decided to go into consulting for teams and individual growth. And I continue to do my coaching, but now coaching is part of that whole package that I offer to the as a business idea. So sometimes it takes to experiment a little bit before realizing what is going to be your niche. And it may come a little while after you have started your business. So like I said, adaptability is key in also to grow your business. So we are in the middle of the presentation at this point, and I would like to switch gears a little bit about what it means having employees, which is something I can definitely give you good advice on. So what happens when you have your own business is that as one person or as a small team, you will ultimately encounter a maximum capacity, right? There is only so much you can do as a one person or two people show or as a small team show. And, your capacity will be, stopped there. If you want to grow your business, right? One of the things that you have to think about is hiring people. Now, sometimes expanding your businesses may mean that you will have as much expenses as you will make money. So you will be still even, and it will be a time in which it will be a little bit hard to overcome that plateau that you reach, right? So one of the things that I definitely advise you to analyze as your business grows is whether hiring employees would cause a temporary stop on the financial growth of your business, and whether it is necessarily something that you want to do. Maybe as a business owner, you want to stay on your own and you will continue making the same profit. But if you have a big dream and you want to grow to your business, eventually you will need employees. But leading a team presents additional challenges, and we are going to talk about that. Before we move into talking about the challenges, here are a few ideas of how you can start working with people without necessarily investing all the finances you need on hiring full-time people. Interns are a great way to start. With interns, though, you have to invest quite a bit of time in teaching them and helping them grow internally. The beautiful thing about it, right, is that they grow professionally and you grow as a business owner as you invest the time in mentoring and working with them. If you can pay your interns a little bit, you will be in a much better place. Everybody needs to survive. So if you can hire interns as opposed to getting interns just for volunteer time, I think that you and your intern will be in a much better place. Also, you can hire employees and pay them by commission. For example, if you are into sales, right? You can have the minimum wage in conjunction with a commission will help you get that person motivated, and also help your business, because the expense that you will come in direct relation with how much you're making. Hiring part-time individuals is another choice. Getting freelancers and contractors is another choice. The thing about freelancers and contractors is that they tend to be more expensive, but then at the same time, you don't have to worry about everything that has to do with payroll, paying taxes, social security, time off, and all those other kind of things that can attach with having employees. You can also do barter work, which you need to record, by the way. So that means that somebody offers you a service or does something for you in exchange for what you do. So it's important, and accountants will tell you that that's important work that needs to be put into the books as well. And finally, you can work with family and friends. I recommend that if you are able to engage people that are really into what you're doing and they are really, they want to help you grow. Working with family and friends can be tricky because it's very difficult to separate your personal relationships from the business relationships. So if you are going to work with family and friends, make sure that right from the beginning, you establish boundaries and how things are going to work. Have those conversations, talk with people about what is it that you need from them, and what is it that they need from you. So there is a lot of clarity on what are the terms of them working with you. So going back to people, so managing people is not easy. Why is that? Because we are all different. And by the way, I want to acknowledge that many of you may be managers out there, and you may know this information already. You may know that working with people is not an easy task to do, yet not a lot of managers do receive the training that is necessary to understand how to work with people. But anyway, going back to this, one of the things about working with people is that we are all different. And we all perceive reality from our specific own lenses, our own points of view. And so interrelationships can be very, very complex. And if you add to that cultural generation, different genders and privileges, right? You can think of each person that is working with you coming with their own background. And so it is very important that as you grow and you decide to have employees, that you prepare yourself well to manage them in a way that is appropriate and that enable them to grow together with you and become more engaged on what you both are doing as part of your business. So I can't stress this enough. When you are a manager, one of the main things that you have to do is to work a lot in yourself. You have to continuously develop your emotional intelligence, always seek clarity. If you are not clear about what you want, people will not be clear about what you want from them. Learn about your communication style and how you can improve it, how you can make it better, and continue to pursue training that will put you kind of in a better place to work with people. Also, stay visible and accessible. Don't be the boss that disappears and nobody can hear or get feedback from. Use at least 15% of your time to connect with people. That means about 1 or 1.5 hours a day that you use to make sure that your employees understand what they are supposed to do. They know that you care about them, that you connect with them as people, and that you really value the work that you're doing with them. Also resist the temptation to give quick answers. Be a facilitator and provide guidance. One of the things that I observe a lot when I work with managers is that they are good at telling people how things should be done. But when you tell people after an initial guidance all the time how you want things done, people do not feel empowered to find their own processes, and then they become dependent of you. You are the person that they go to for every single question they have. And at the end of the day, if you are going to be making all those decisions, you may as well just do it yourself. So make sure that you entice and help people think about what is the best way they can accomplish what you are asking them to do. Also, make sure that you keep a can-do and solution-focused mentality. Your team will emulate your attitude in work. So if you see every single situation as a problem, they will think that every single situation is a problem. If you think of every single situation as a growth experience, they will realize, right, that that they can also find that growth within any situation that is happening at work. Practice giving your team feedback often. Don't wait until the yearly performance reviews. Some people don't even do performance reviews, which is a big problem, right? But if you give your team feedback often, you will help to fix things as they go, and not wait until a whole year has gone by and you kind of like lost a whole year of good performance, and it's too late to recover that person from what they need to improve. Also, be sure you ask your team to evaluate you too. Get better at receiving feedback and asking it frequently. In life, we all grow and we all can learn from each other. So it is important that as a manager, we also keep our teams in mind and ask them, hey, what can I be doing better? Or just let me know if something is not working out for you, just tell me. And also keep quick notes on your interactions with your team. Why? Because when a person comes and talks to you about something, you may want to refer to those notes. It is really hard to remember everyone's stories, what is going on with everybody. But I have to tell you, if you do, right, you will be able to connect with your team much better, and people will appreciate that. Make your wins about your team. Give them proper credit all the time. I cannot tell you how annoying it is when people do take credit for what other people have said or done, and people do not appreciate that at all. I'm sure you have experienced that in your own working history, and it is important to give your team the wins that they need. If you make any mistakes, take ownership and work on personal development again. Make your team feel safe. They need to know that they can come and speak to you about what's going on. If they feel that they come to you with a problem and they feel judgment, they will be less likely to come to you and talk about the problem. But if you make them feel safe, that they can express what they think, there will be more chances that they will come to you and talk about what is going on. If you have meetings with the staff, be prepared. Don't show up unprepared. It is just a good practice in general, not only with the staff, but also with the people that you're meeting with. You go to meet with you have a sales, just like if you have a sales meeting with somebody and you come and with everything perfectly memorized or known, do the same with your employees. And be a better listener than a speaker. I think that people forget that the most important part of communication is really listening. So remember that listening to people can get you a long way before you actually telling them what to do all the time. So those are my tips regarding managing people. It's very quick. Of course, there is a lot more information around it. Great books on management that you can, resources out there. But, that's kind of like an overview to get you started thinking about, these ideas that you have to think about as you build your own business and grow it. Some great resources from SCORE. The first one is an article that I found that is about why people need mentors. Like I said in one of my slides, you don't want to be alone in this process. You want somebody that you can bounce ideas by, and mentors can provide that kind of work. I hope most of you who are starting a business have a mentor already that they can run things by. It is very useful, and you will gain, I guess you will avoid making a lot of mistakes by bouncing things by people that really know what they are talking about. Another one is a great online resource that asks you about whether you are ready to start a business. I will put these links in the chat in a little while we go through the Q&A. The other one is, of course, the simple steps to start your own business. It is an online course that you can do on your own. It has videos, it has materials that you run with. And well, online is great, but there's nothing like a in-person training, because you can ask and have interaction with other people, bounce ideas by people, and also the instructors. So Fairfield County SCORE will be having a presentation in person in Norwalk soon, so you can search on their website for the information as well. So while we get started with the Q&A, I'll put these links in the chat, and Bob, the microphone is yours.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Ivonne. Lots of great material there, and thank you very much. I'm sure there's lots of questions. So just as a reminder, people, if you do want to ask a question, please type it into the Q&A box, and we'll take as many as we can up until the top of the hour. So our first one, Ivonne, is from Marcia, and it's In the case where the business is new, i.e. no experience, however, the business owner has many years of experience while working for an employer in the services being solicited, what is the best way to represent the owner's own experience so that it will be considered as valid experience during bid situations or evaluations?
Let me just reread that question for a second.
I think the essence is the business has no experience, but the business owner has a lot of experience, and how best to represent that.
I think that okay, so the business is new, but the owner has a lot of experience, right? And what is the best way to represent that? I think that, you know, first of all, having a strong bio is a really key point. When you own a business, and you are the business, you have to represent yourself the right way. And there are no titles that will compare with the experience that you have as a business owner. So the best way is to make sure that you market yourself well, that you represent yourself, and that you talk about your experience in a bio, and that you are able to introduce your knowledge more than anything else. People will trust people that they know. Getting references is a great way to start as well. For example, you can get references in LinkedIn or Google. If you can get people to speak what you are doing, definitely get them to do that, because people will trust what other people tell them as well.
I just add to that, I think we encounter this a lot at SCORE as well, and I think the best way to represent it is to focus primarily on your own individual experience, because you are the business in that situation where you have a new business. And I think most buyers would be looking at the experience of the people doing the work. And in this case, it would be you. So, and less about that you've just started up your business. They're really looking and saying, okay, who's going to do the work? Am I going to be looked after by a qualified and experienced person? Which in your question, it would very much appear that you have lots of experience. So hopefully, Marcia, that helps. Our next one is from Carlos. When starting a business with one person or a small team, how do you delegate vacation time or a mental health break if you want to grow quickly? I often hear new startup business owners rarely get any time to themselves or family.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. We do have actually a webinar coming next month on that specifically. But quick tips of things that you can do. When you build your schedule and you start working with you know, with the way you're gonna get your business done, make sure that you set time aside for relaxation. So for example, look at your calendar in advance and block a few days that you know that you are going to use specifically for taking time away from the business. Also, a good idea is to make sure that you set yourself in the calendar a kind of times when you're going to start working and when you are going to end your workday. Because as small business owners, we could be working all day. We go to bed thinking about our business, right? So there has to be a time in which you are able to disconnect from your current what you're doing, and make sure that you are you know, that you set time aside for relaxation. I use calendars for that. I use alarms for that, and really become very sure that I will be taking that time off. It is hard. Like I said before, people that have their own business work more than 60 hours a week, and it's not unusual. But if you make sure that you are able to do that, and if you have employees, going back to your question as well, just kind of like do the same for them. Make sure that you have time set aside in advance.
Excellent. Great advice. Our next one is from Lovely, and her question is, what would be a good way to test your market if you are in the food industry?
So a good way to test your food industry kind of market is, first of all, you can start with people that you know, right? You can start by inviting people that are interested in the product that you're serving and getting feedback from them. Then you may want to analyze what is it that I'm offering, what I'm making, what is it that fits better, what kind of population fits better? Is my food more enticing to people of a certain age? Is it more enticing to people of a certain culture? And then you have to do your market analysis and figure out, how many people in the area where I want to put my business does fit this specific, population. It's not only about, this food is for better for people of this background. It's age, it's culture, it's where they live, it's their how much financial ability they have to buy your food. So there is two areas to the food industry. It's really testing your product and seeing whether people receive it well, and then learning about what kind of people are receiving that kind of product in a way that is more open, that it is to their taste.
Lots of good ideas there. We do have time for a couple more. If anyone has a question, please use the Q&A button. And maybe just if we have a couple minutes, I'd be interested, Ivonne. All of us, I think, people that go into business have some things that they didn't anticipate. What were the one or two things that when you went into from being an employer to an employee rather to in your own business that you came unexpectedly?
I think my biggest realization was realizing that I needed to build into my pricing the time that it took me to prepare for things. So it's not only the time that you are servicing people, right? It's how long does it take you to prepare for things. And on top of that, right, when you are looking at the big picture and the big calendar, is how do I build into my pricing the time that I'm not working, right? Because like I said in one of my slides, nobody's paying me for vacations anymore. If I get sick, I'm not getting paid for that either. So we have to build into my pricing. And so those forecasts can be a little bit tricky to do, right? You have to have some experience doing it before you can even make that evaluation. But thinking about those things, what is it that my business needs to afford me to live, right, as an entrepreneur, that I need to build into my pricing. So I think that has been the biggest lessons for me.
Yeah, well, that's great. I don't think you're alone. So anyway, we have another question here from Carlos. Are there any local groups or events to meet other entrepreneurs and discuss and network with like-minded individuals?
Well, I do believe that SCORE does have a bit of classes that they conduct together, and there are groups of people that take a number of classes together as a cohort. I know that I'll be doing a presentation very soon for them in February at the Westport Library, but also the Chambers of Commerce are really good groups. BNAs are really good groups as well. What I would suggest to people looking to find what kind of people they want to do business with is to test a few of the sources out there to do networking, which we will have also a workshop for that. Then decide what is the group that is going to lead you to more recommendations for your own business. It's not necessarily everyone, right? Sometimes you will find that, for example, if you meet if you are an entrepreneur that is doing business to business, right? You will concentrate more on meeting on a business to business cases. If you are an entrepreneur that is selling directly to consumers, you may want to join groups that are addressing and reaching more consumers than other business owners. So once you refine your audience, you have to refine your groups as well.
Okay, Carlos had one quick follow-up, and we have 1 minute left. It's how does a small business owner deal with something like health insurance from someone who's come from an employer who provided great insurance? So maybe you can relate to your own experience there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's one of kind of the backup plan, right? You have to, when you think about starting your business and what your backup plan is going to look like, right? These are learnings that things that you have to learn. You will have to go into private insurance and hire your own insurance. What is the cost going to be, and how you're going to build that into the cost of doing business as well? So yes, that's another thing that people are concerned about, and sometimes it is too late before we discover that these are the things that we should have looked at before then.
Okay. Okay, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions. Just as a reminder to everyone, the session has been recorded and the webinar will be available within the next day or so on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org, under on-demand webinars. Our next live webinar will be a week from today, Tuesday, January 23rd at noon, and the topic is running your business with financial statements with John Harmon presenting. And again, more specifics on our website. Again, if you'd like to take advantage of that free individual counseling, you can use the link that was up on the screen earlier, or you can just go to our website and click on the Request a Mentor button. We will be sending out evaluations right after the webinar, and if you could fill them out, they're very helpful to us going forward. And on behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's live webinar. And in closing, a big thank you to Ivonne for all the great information and for presenting today. So thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Ivonne.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.